What is going on, friends? I'm very excited to share something with you today. As you see, we have my first ever Formula Drift car. We just pulled it out from being stored, and we're gonna dig into what the plans are and tell a couple stories about it. Let's get to it, friends. So this is my first ever Formula Drift competition car. It is a Nissan 240SX with a Silvia S13 front end. Because we didn't have Silvias in the US. It's left-hand drive, it means a 240SX. I don't care what you say. This car has so many memories. I built this car on my back in my garage at my house in Glen Burnie, Maryland, from probably 2001 through 2003. And long story short, I bought this car as a shell. It was a pearl white with a green stripe. I bought the car because I fell in love with 240SXs after buying a crash one from a friend that I fixed. I had bought a front clip from Japan, and in my mind, there was nothing about drifting at this point. This was just, I was into imports. I love the fact it was rear-wheel drive and wasn't a Honda. Sorry, Honda boys. And I just thought it was something different and cool. So I had a front clip that I bought from S13 Silvia in Japan with an SR. And I ended up buying a chassis instead of wanting to build my daily, which by daily, I mean it was multiple different colors and just a really ratty street car, which would probably be a really cool like street scene drift car these days. But I basically built this, put the SR20 in the car, and I used to go terrorizing local drag strips, running high 12s. I would go, you know, there was a bunch of meetups and hangouts in Glen Burnie where I grew up on Ritchie Highway, or where I shouldn't say grew up, but where I lived when I first built this car. And then I used to just go to industrial parks playing around. I went to my first Drift Out Wednesday with it. That's when I realized I was halfway decent behind the wheel and just fell in love with the sport. And from that moment on, I was all day, full-time drifting is all I thought about, and made a name for myself on the East Coast through 2002, 2003. Got invited out to an event called the Nopi World Finals in Fontana, October-ish 2003. That's where I met, ultimately, the team that I would start driving for, Falken Tire. And so my first deal with this car was, you know, they had just announced Formula Drift was happening in 03. So I went out there to that event. It was my first time meeting Dai Yoshihara, meeting and driving with Team Orange. And then after that event, that's when Falken called me, and basically the conversation went like this. We would like you to drive for our team. We want you to paint the car our colors, and we'll give you 10 tires per event. And I was like, I get to be teammates with Kaguchi and Seigo Yamamoto. Holy crap. I was like, yes, 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 yes. And basically, you can say the rest was history. 2004, I drove this car down to Formula Drift on an open trailer and competed in my first round of FD, earning third place, battling Chris Forsberg for it. So yeah, so I'm gonna give you guys a walk around in its condition right now, and I'm basically gonna take it back to that 2004 Formula Drift spec that it was. So this was like Drift Alliance demo car spec. So after that, you know, this car traveled all over the world doing demos, China, El Salvador, but now I'm gonna take it back to its original setup. So first thing we'll start with, we'll pop the hood, and under there is nothing. The thing that's in there is still the same Nagase Auto plates, as well as the Tanes with the EDFC. So ran them back then. A crash had happened, and I wish I was able to pull all the footage for this stuff, but this happened, I don't remember where, but we ended up just cutting it and then making a support for it. Look in here. Look at this piece of rectangular tube that we built to make sure that the steering stops didn't bend when I was on all that lock. And then look at this power steering cooler. Look at this freaking power steering cooler of this thing, dude. That is ridiculous. The other thing to look at this, see this Tanabe sway bar right there? So that sway bar is how I met Ray Shake and the MA Motorsports team. Ray is our technical director now, 20 years later. And basically he had that on eBay and it was like 350, 400 bucks. And I hit him up and I asked him if he wanted to sponsor me for my car build. And now I think about how ridiculous that was, knowing the situation. This guy's just like buying and selling parts and I'm asking him to sponsor me. Anyway, we talked and he ended up hooking me up with that part. And that's how I met the squad at MA Motorsports, who I love and are actually gonna be a part of rebuilding this car. So come on back over here. So everything else, you know, this car had a full Bomex kit on it. So that's what I'm bringing it back to. Bomex fenders, Bomex front bumper, which by the way, if anyone knows where I can get the Bomex front bumper pictured here, I'm looking for one of those. I got everything else. Masa actually built me some from Bomex, built me the stuff to replace this, which is really cool. So now moving on to the interior. You can see the Buddy Club seats. Oh, here's a corner. A little bit of rat poop in there. Oh, look at this bad boy. You know, some piping. We welded that at some point. Who knows when. But yeah, this is it. Bolt-in auto power roll cage that we had to add a door bar when Formula D made us add door bars. Or a double door bar, I should say. And then look up under here. On my dash, this is a routine that, in fact, I'm just gonna pull it down. So this was a routine that we did. I don't know where this was. It might have been Irwindale, because there were some bikes. It says something with bikes, bike demo. So I don't know. We did some stuff with bikes a couple times, but basically grip up, grip down, single down, Tony, Vaughn, Chris, Tony, Vaughn, Chris, Chris, Vaughn, Tony, Chris, Vaughn, Tony. So this was a Drift Alliance demo that we did, collaborating with some bikers. You can see JR Hard Park. But anyway, this is some freaking history right here. I gotta save this. So, I mean, you can look at it. I mean, I'm running freaking 25 mil spacers, cross-drilled slotted rusty rotors. I mean, this is as OG as a drift car gets. Still have an AFI sticker on here. I competed with that. AFI is a band, for those of you who don't know. Back in the day, they were badass punk. They've changed a little bit these days, but still respect their stuff. Oh, hey, what do you know? So there's some stories in here, right? You can see there's been a porta power on that once or twice from, you know, smashing shit. Fan, oh my gosh, a Z32 mass airflow sensor. And it looks like a rat or a mouse made a home in there. Man, I used to go to the junkyard and buy these off Q45s and sell them. I'd buy them for like 50 bucks and people were buying them for like 250 back in the day. It's like how I funded this hot rod. See, K&N filter. This is actually the first, wait a minute. This is the first sponsored part I got other than the sway bars from Ray. I went up to K&N in 2003 at an event and yeah, they were my first sponsor. And then, you know, you got a hot pipe. Really, really interesting to relive this. And so, yeah, beyond that, you know, this is what we're doing. So it's gonna go all back stock. I actually did drill this fender and I wanted to show you guys what's under it. So that's the OG livery. This was the original, if you guys remember, the original Falken team colors. The blue, which is Alsa paint. So it was like this silver color with a blue tint on it, and it was like a super chrome or something. So we're gonna try to get that again. When I first competed, I did not have over fenders on the car. It was just a factory body. Unfortunately, that's the one thing that will not be able to be restored to stock. So we're just gonna keep running these over fenders, which if I remember correctly, these are Origin 30 mils. if I remember correctly. I think these are Origin front fenders. If you look in here, there's also a speaker. Blaupunk had a speaker boombox that clipped into the car, so I got sponsored by them, I think in like 2007, 2008, so that was marketing. But man, all these OG Drifter Line stickers, Aces High, if anyone remembers the Aces. And I guess the other thing too is we won't be fixing this. We may yank it back, but it's pretty pushed in there because, you know, I've hit stuff, if you can't tell by the taillight. So yeah, this is all the stuff that we got out of storage with it. Don't ask me about the notchback because I don't know what I'm doing with it yet. But here's the Bomex rear unders that go under the factory OEM bumper cover, which I need one of those if anyone has one. And then these are the side skirts that are gonna go on it. Other things that I need, if anyone has them, leave comments or DM me on Instagram. But I need what I believe was called a Wagnan wing, W-A-G-N-A-N, Wagnan, I don't know, I'm sorry, I'm not Japanese and I butchered it, but it basically was a low profile wing that hung off the back a little bit. And I need to find one of those, and I'll try to put a photo here. So if anyone knows where I can get one of those, I'm looking for one of those too. But other than that, I've got everything. And we're just gonna restore this bad boy. Giffy, who used to be the painter at RTR, he's gonna do the paint work for us. So we'll send it over to him, check in on it, and yeah, keep you guys updated. But I'm really excited about this. My plan is in the future to have this, my 05 Mustang, my first car, first Mustang I should say, which we debuted in 05 at Formula D, and have this and that, and then ultimately do some battles against a current gen FD car and show the evolution and show how slow these cars are comparatively to what we're doing today. But very exciting. Hope you all are excited as I am. And yeah, thanks for tuning in, friends. We'll see you soon. Woo!